A man with blood all over his face and a sharp knife in his hand chases a woman in her underwear who is terrified. He says he won't hurt her, but he stabs her in the abdomen. He looks at her painful expression and feels sorry for her, but then he stabs her several times more and ends her life. What kind of twisted psychology made him do such a sick thing? Let's go back to a few days ago. Jerry is a factory worker. His boss asks him to organize a barbecue party as a representative of his department. Of course, it's voluntary, and he has to use his spare time. At the same time, his boss secretly tells him a well-known secret. Fiona, the beautiful accountant, will be there too. What? How can he miss this opportunity? Jerry is instantly excited and agrees. He goes home and happily prepares the clothes he will wear for the meeting tomorrow. But then he hears a strange voice in his room. The voice seems to know everything about the party and keeps nagging him. You think you're popular, but they only keep you out of pity. You're just a weak crybaby. Jerry gets angry and shuts the door, ignoring the annoying voice. The next day, he manages to talk to Fiona at the meeting. He is overjoyed and even sees hearts on the ham slices on the pizza. But he has a problem. He has a hereditary mental illness. He consults his psychiatrist, who is assigned by the court, about this issue. The doctor thinks he has improved and tells him to follow his heart's answer. He also reminds him to take his medicine on time. The party comes as planned and Jerry has a lot of fun. As the saying goes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Under Jerry's 18 layers of filters, he thinks Fiona is even more beautiful. He goes home satisfied and is greeted by his enthusiastic dog,
Did you fuck the bitch?
and his inappropriate cat. Ever since he got sick, Jerry became more spirited. When he heard his cat and dog talk, he didn't tell the doctor or take his medicine right away. Instead, he was very happy. The cat obviously doesn't approve of his romance, but Jerry, who is immersed in sweet fantasies, won't listen to it. Even at work, he hums songs and decides to make a move. Although Fiona doesn't respond well to his advances, another girl from the accounting department, Lisa, seems to like him and asks him if he wants to have a drink with them. Fiona is indifferent to Jerry's flirting, but Jerry also ignores Fiona's hints. Fiona is a social butterfly and doesn't want to embarrass Jerry. She just wants him to back off. But who is Jerry? He is a mentally ill person who doesn't play by the rules. Fiona has only dealt with normal guys before. How can she handle a crazy one? She loses instantly and reluctantly agrees to go with him to a Chinese restaurant. The next day, he goes to the accounting department to deliver the address of the restaurant, but he doesn't see Fiona. It turns out that Fiona had already made plans with her colleagues to go singing today and didn't intend to go on the date. She was going to leave a voice message for Jerry before work and cancel the appointment. But by mistake, Jerry didn't get the message and waited stupidly at the restaurant for an evening. He tried to find all kinds of excuses for Fiona, but when he was alone, he couldn't help crying pitifully. On his way back, he unexpectedly met Fiona on the roadside, who was soaked by the rainstorm. Her car wouldn't start and her phone was broken too. She still wondered why he was there, and thought he had received her message. When she learned the truth, the atmosphere became awkward. Fiona felt guilty, and invited Jerry to eat something with her. Jerry looked at Fiona, and thought she was more beautiful than ever. He told her a cold joke. There are only 4 angels in the Bible who have names: Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and... He asked Fiona who was the 4th one. Fiona couldn't answer, and he insisted that she did. This sudden car accident scared them both silly. But in his daze, Jerry heard the deer talking to him. "Kill me," it begged him. Without hesitation, Jerry grabbed the sharp knife and stabbed it into the deer's neck under Fiona's horrified gaze. Fiona was terrified and ran out of the car. Jerry followed her with the knife in his hand. He didn't realize how he looked like a psychotic killer. Fiona tripped and fell. Jerry asked her if she was okay, but he also fell on top of her. The knife pierced into his abdomen. Seeing his beloved woman in such pain, Jerry had no choice but to end her suffering with his own hands. He returned home in a trance. The lawful good dog thought he was a good person who did something wrong and should turn himself into the police. The chaotic evil cat wanted him to destroy the evidence and confessed that it had also killed on purpose. Because only when it killed, it felt alive. This was an instinct, not shameful. In the end, Jerry chose to listen to the cat. He went back to the woods. In his eyes, Fiona's body was clean and surrounded by white flowers. He felt like she was Sleeping Beauty, quietly waiting for him to come. He packed up the body. But then the camera moved down and revealed a horrifying scene. The messy environment, the fallen organs. This was the reality. Everything before was just Jerry's impression. After accepting the cat's advice, Jerry became calm and collected. He bought a saw and a bunch of containers. He made up lies to fend off the questions from the sheriff and the doctor. But when the doctor asked him if he took his medicine, he accidentally exposed that he had given up on taking it. The doctor had to warn him again that if he didn't take his medicine regularly, he would be sent to a mental hospital. Jerry went home and didn't follow the doctor's advice. Instead, he started to deal with the body crazily. He chopped Fiona's body into pieces and put them into the prepared containers. Finally, he cut off Fiona's head and put it in the fridge. He knew he should take his medicine, but he didn't want to give up on talking to the cat and dog and having a good life. As he hesitated, Fiona's voice came from the fridge. Fiona looked very unhappy and scolded him harshly. Jerry swallowed the medicine quickly. The effect came soon. Jerry's world began to distort and gradually showed its true face. The original spacious and tidy room became dark and crowded with dirt and blood stains everywhere. The cat and dog no longer talked to him. Loneliness and fear came over him. When he opened the fridge and faced that dead head, Jerry couldn't bear it anymore. He wanted to go back to the beautiful world he had before. He immediately poured out all the medicine and rushed to the bathroom to try to vomit out the medicine in his stomach. The morning came soon. The warm sun, the bright room, everything was familiar to him. Even Fiona in the fridge changed her tone and celebrated with him for returning to a good life. But then Fiona made a greedy request. She wanted Jerry to find her a companion. Jerry agreed quickly. The mentally ill Jerry felt very energetic now. The cat and dog started to argue again. The cat kept persuading Jerry to kill, while the dog tried to stop him. Although Jerry said he didn't want to kill anyone, his body was very honest and went to the accounting department. He asked Lisa, who had a crush on him, out. Because they both had cats, they had a lot in common. Soon Lisa suggested that Jerry go to her house and see her cat. Jerry agreed happily, but he took Lisa to a remote place instead. This was where he lived as a child. His mother died here. His mother had the same mental illness as him and could hear voices that others couldn't. But she didn't think she was sick. Instead, she thought the hospital and the police were persecuting her. When she was about to be taken away, she chose to kill herself. But even for a mentally ill person, it was hard to slit one's throat quickly. So she begged Jerry to end her pain. It was because of this childhood experience that Jerry chose to help the deer and Fiona end their suffering when he saw them in pain. Jerry's vulnerable appearance aroused Lisa's sympathy. She gave Jerry a passionate kiss. And because of this kiss, she escaped death for a while. But you can't escape death when it's your time. Lisa, who was in love, asked for Jerry's address from her colleague and wanted to surprise him. But when she got there, the surprise turned into horror. Lisa saw the dirty and messy environment and the bloody head. She panicked and wounded Jerry. When she was cornered, she came up with a clever idea and changed the topic. She acted like a love-struck fool. Jerry smiled like an honest person. But the next second he pushed her hard. Lisa fell and hit her neck and couldn't move. So another fresh head was made. Trouble never comes alone. The colleagues in the accounting department noticed that 2 people were missing and found Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Allison.
Things had gone too far to turn back. Jerry was in agony and broke down emotionally. He kidnapped the doctor who was assigned to him by the court. The doctor didn't have the power of personality correction like in some anime, but she had practiced his mouth for years. She gave Jerry a speech and told him that he should have his own thoughts and argue with those voices rationally. Jerry listened and suddenly saw the light. He took the doctor back to his house. But he didn't want to kill him. The doctor was a cultured person and spoke tactfully. She said she was lonely and wanted to make a phone call. But the crazy person on the other side misunderstood her. What? You said you were lonely? At this time, the police received an alarm and came over. Jerry ran away and accidentally broke the gas pipe, causing an explosion. In the real world, the police rescued the doctor and the cat and dog. But in Jerry's mental world, he chose to listen to the dog's advice and let the fire consume him. The dog and cat reconciled, and Jerry met his parents and the 3 girls he killed in his mental world. He even met Jesus. They all forgave him and sang and danced together. Finally, Jesus drove a forklift and took Jerry away, ending his sinful life. After watching this slightly demonic ending, what do you think of Jerry as a person? Is he a naive and honest person, or a capricious and murderous maniac, or both? Jerry is a mentally ill person who needs treatment, but he had an unfortunate family and didn't get good guidance from his parents. His father was violent, and his mother instilled in him the wrong perception. The dog represented the righteous side, while the cat represented the evil side of killing. But this was not a fantasy movie. It was not really the cat and dog that urged him to kill. His cat and dog couldn't talk. You can imagine the cat and dog as the angel and devil that appear in the protagonist's inner struggle in cartoons. Jerry was a very weak person who liked to avoid responsibility. Whenever he had an idea, he would imagine a voice talking to him, so as to rationalize his behavior. For example, when he had the urge to kill Lisa, from Lisa's perspective, the cat didn't say anything at all. But he acted like he was arguing with the cat, as if the cat was forcing him to kill. He had heaven and hell in his mind. Jerry eventually went down a path of no return. At the end of the movie, he sang and danced with the most important people in his life, singing the same song as at the party. Maybe it was because that dance at the party was one of the few good memories in his life. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked this video, please follow me. See you next time. Bye bye.